It's back! The Premier League is back, the international break is over, and welcome back to the Full 90. Shout out to Max Theron, who is one of the Patreons who joined and won the $100 giveaway. If you want to see more monthly giveaways over on Patreon, then why not join using the link in the description to get involved? But that's the proof of me doing it. I can understand why some people are skeptical, but Max will verify I did it. There's proof there. Here are the winning accumulators we had over on the Patreon, and as you can see, I mean, that one was outrageous. I sometimes decide to do correct score doubles, and we had the Premier League mega odds correct score double with Aston Villa to win 2-1, City to win 3-1, odds of over 100, and these are all the winning accumulators. But before I scroll down and show you all of them, since the last video there's been a lot, I am doing a 10% discount for this next week only. As you can see up there, from the 12th to the 19th of September, if you use the code 8E58C, you will get 10% off the Patreon membership. If you want to get involved like everyone else, we are well over 100 units in profit this season so far, and it's only $9.99 a month, which means you would still be in profit and have got your membership money back if you only bet 10 cents on every accumulator that I've posted since we started. There we had this one here, the Nations League result on both teams to score double. The handicap mega treble was just insane. The Liverpool -1 at 3.1 against Man United. I can't believe the odds were that high. We had the Brentford win with Forest and Wolves to draw. We also tipped Forest and Wolves to draw 1-1 as well. All of these right here. As I said on the Patreon, we do different leagues that I can't do on YouTube. Ligue 1, La Liga. We had tons of Nations League picks as well. I'm just scrolling through all of them. Here were some of the close ones in just the last few days. We were 1 goal away from the 8-fold mega ACCA with Poland not scoring. 1 goal away from the 6-fold ACCA with Belgium not scoring. We had 3 out of the 4 picks here, and then here, if we just gave that Czech Republic goal to Germany, we would have had 400 to 1 odds. But look at that. Georgia win to 0, 4.5. Greece win to 0, 4. There's so many picks. We also tipped Latvia to win 1-0 at 5.5. We tipped Wales to beat Montenegro 2-1 at 8.5. Massive shout out to all the people that have joined the YouTube memberships club who also get the tips that I do post, but they can't, you know, message me directly or anything like that. But anyway, flashing up on the screen are all of the people that have joined the Patreon since we started. So click the link, get yourself involved. I understand this was a long intro, but it's been the international break. We have a 10% discount running, and we had loads of winning accumulators to get through. But now it is time for Premier League Week 4, and there are some huge fixtures, including, of course, the North London derby. But kicking off, we do have Southampton up against Manchester United. Now, I would love this to be Southampton's first point of the season. Do I see it happening? Surely not. I do think this is a potential slip up, and the odds do reflect that, but I'm going to shade this one to Manchester United. Man United to win 2-1, and I like the odds of Man United to win at 1.72. If this was against someone I'd consider even a little better, you know, like a Fulham, a Wolves, even a West Ham, who I think are actually pretty good, even an Everton at Goodison Park, and Everton still currently sit 20th in the table, I'd probably say that Man United drop points. But against even Ipswich, Leicester, I feel like Southampton are the only team I can think of that I would say won't get points from Man United at a home game right now. I think all other 18 teams in the league could take points from Man United at home. I just think Southampton are the only one that can't, genuinely. So I'm going to go 2-1 Man United, and the tip is Man United to win at 1.72. I also do just want to say that I said in last week's video with the Week 3 Premier League predictions that I predicted all 20 teams to score, and I can see both teams scoring in every game, but that it's likely that you obviously shouldn't put 10-fold both teams to score on the Premier League fixtures, because a team is likely to let us down. And the reason I said that is because I was getting stick in the comments for saying both teams to score a lot. But 19 of the 20 teams did score. It was only Manchester United in the final game at Old Trafford that didn't score. All other 19 teams scored. So I was right to pick a lot of both teams to score. We had 3 back-to-back correct score predictions. And on the screen here, as you can see, another comment on Patreon saying how my correct score predictions are always on point. I also tipped Italy to win 2-1 as a correct score. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. There are so many, and I don't tip loads of correct scores, but the hit rate is very high. Nevertheless, we move on to Brighton up against Ipswich. I think this is going to be high scoring. I think Ipswich can score. Spoiler alert, I've got most teams scoring in this game week again. I have got one team drawing a blank, but I've got 19 teams scoring again this week, and I think both teams will score here. I'm going to go for Brighton to win comfortably 3-1. The tip is going to be Brighton and both teams to score at 2.87. After this, we travel to Selhurst Park for Crystal Palace up against Leicester. Crystal Palace, they got a result from Chelsea drawing 1-1, and Leicester, of course, we predicted would lose to Aston Villa 2-1. So I do think both teams are going to score here again. I'm going to shade it to Crystal Palace with home form. I think the home team has obviously the advantage. I think Leicester could get something from Palace potentially, but I'm going to go 2-1. And the tip is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 2.2. And now after this, we have Fulham up against West Ham. Last week, Fulham drew 1-1 with Ipswich, but our tip there was Fulham double chance and both teams to score at above evens to allow for that 1-1 draw. And then West Ham, we obviously tipped would lose 3-1 to Manchester City. So a good hold on both these two teams, and I think they are actually going to cancel each other out. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and you guessed it, the tip is going to be both teams to score at 1.53. After that, we travel to Anfield for Liverpool up against Nottingham Forest, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull the trigger. Even though Nottingham Forest, they've scored in every Premier League game so far this season, I'm going to say that's going to end here, and Liverpool will win 3-0. I thought about Liverpool to win to 0 at 2.1, but I could see it being a 3-1 win to Liverpool because I do think Forest are fairly decent. But the way Slot has sort of altered Liverpool slightly to allow, basically, they don't need all the defenders to run forward when attacking and everything like that. They basically seem more solid at the back. So I think it's quite likely that they do keep a clean sheet. So my tip is going to be Salah to score anytime at 1.9. The odds are fairly similar, so we'll go with Salah to score and Liverpool to win 3-0. After this, it's Manchester City up against Brentford. I've gone for a massive score here. I believe I've predicted a 5-1 correctly once in my full 90 career, and I think it's the only time I ever did it, and I think it was Manchester City. I'm going to do it again. Man City to win 5-1. I thought about Haaland to score, but I think the odds are like 1.5, so I've just gone simply for Man City half-time, full-time at 1.61, which I believe is the same odds as Man City to win and Haaland to score. And I think, although it's very likely that City win and Haaland score, I think it's more likely that City are winning at half-time and go on to win the game. So I think there's a little discrepancy with the odds there. So I think Brentford can score, and they might very well score, but City are going to absolutely walk this game at the Etihad 5-1. Obviously, I know Brentford, I think, did they do the double over Man City not too long ago? But it's different. It's different this time. Haaland's going to go for the 50 goals in a Premier League season record. So I'm going to go for Man City to win 5-1. After this, it is Aston Villa up against Everton. I have been very much enjoying the downfall of Everton. I mean, they are exactly where they were this time last year. Bottom, 0 points. Will they find a way to scam a stay in the Premier League? Probably. But I'm going to go for a high-scoring Aston Villa win here. Aston Villa to win 3-1. And the tip is Aston Villa to win at 1.5, just because I can't really rely on Everton to score a goal and say Aston Villa and both teams to score, because I've got over 90% hit rate with the tips in these videos, and one that really sticks out to me that didn't come true was in week 1 that I was kind of burned with, was when Everton scored 0 goals against Brighton. They probably should have done, but they lost 3-0, and that was just a bit of an L. So I don't trust Everton. Aston Villa to win at 1.5. I'm just as confident that Villa will beat Everton as I was that they beat Leicester, even more so. So Aston Villa are going to win. After this, it's Bournemouth up against Chelsea. I love the odds for this one. I know Bournemouth got that fairy tale comeback against Everton. It is the latest that anyone has been losing by 2 goals or trailing by 2 goals in a Premier League game to go on to win it. And it was just fantastic. So brilliant result for Bournemouth. And this is absolutely a banana skin for Chelsea. And that is why the odds are the way they are. But it's a banana skin that Chelsea won't slip up on this time. I think had Chelsea beaten Crystal Palace, as most people were expecting, then they could go on to slip up here, but it's not going to happen. I think Chelsea are going to win this one. I'm going to go 2-1, and the odds of Chelsea to win at 2 are just great. So if you want to have a little bit of a risky double and a little winner's double of Man United and Chelsea, where, you know, if you just like the thrill, then I could see, you know, you could put those in a double of about 3.5 and just hope for the best. I do think it should happen. But yeah, I'm going to go Chelsea to win at 2. And after this, it is the North London derby. It's Tottenham up against Arsenal. Arsenal are without Declan Rice for what was a stupid second yellow. He barely touched the ball. I wouldn't say he kicked the ball away. Veltman kicked the ball into Rice. Like, if Veltman didn't kick the ball at Rice, it wouldn't have been, it wasn't like he searched out the ball to kick it away. The ball was kicked into him. And then also, Veltman wasn't going to take that quick free kick. If Rice wasn't, it was absolutely stupid. I don't care the laws of the game. He didn't kick the ball away. The ball was kicked at him, and he got it out from under his legs. It's completely different. It was a joke. But also, Martin Ødegaard on international duty in Norway's 2-1 win against Austria, which was, you know, a great win for them. Haaland scoring late. Came off in the middle of the game, and he has a small sprain on his ankle. I'm not sure on the estimated return time, but that is a huge blow. The Arsenal midfield will probably be the likes of, I mean, Jorginho, Partey, and maybe Havertz will drop in. It's not bad, and I do think Arsenal have enough to beat Tottenham regardless. I think Tottenham, they lost to Newcastle last time out. They beat a poor Everton side, and they drew to Leicester. It's not been great. However, if Tottenham can beat Arsenal here, they will leapfrog Arsenal in the table after a pretty mid start to the season. And Arsenal, you'd argue, have had a decent start to the season. So it's all to play for. It's very important. I'm going to shade it to Arsenal because I think essentially where less people are expecting Arsenal to win with their injuries, they've still got a plethora of talent on the pitch to play this game and almost up their game, knowing that they are slightly less favourites than they would have been a couple of weeks ago. The odds were about 1.9 at one point. It's now 2.25 for Arsenal to win this game. And Arsenal still have the exact same defence and the exact same offence. And they are a very good team. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal. The tip is both teams to score at 1.5 because they always score, and Arsenal's injuries sort of go hand in hand with it being more likely that Tottenham do score. I think if Arsenal are at full strength, I could genuinely see them winning 3-0. I think Arsenal are that good. I think it's going to be close. We'll say both teams will score at 1.5. The final fixture of the week is going to be Wolves up against Newcastle. And I want to say Newcastle will win. Like I said, brilliant result against Tottenham, albeit at St. James's Park. Wolverhampton Wanderers got a good point, in my opinion, away against Nottingham Forest. I think at home, even though last time they were dismantled a little bit by Chelsea, 6-2, I'm going to split the difference here. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw between the two teams, but the tip is going to be Newcastle double chance and both teams to score at 1.86 because I think Newcastle have the edge. I do think Wolves can score, so that is where I'm standing. And that's going to do it for Week 4 Premier League. I'm super excited to be back to club football, but also coming up in a few days, it is the Champions League new format Match Day 1 video. And I, for one, am so excited. I'm so excited to see how this unfolds. We have 8 match days instead of 6, based on the league format and qualification and everything like that. It's sort of all to play for. You can't coast through the group by winning the first few games and then taking your foot off the gas. You've got to get as many points as possible to finish higher up the league. If you finish between 9th and 24th, you have a seeding system, so every single point counts right up until the last match day in January. So I'm very excited to be making the videos on that. Make sure you drop a like, leave your predictions down in the comments below, and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers this season, and I will see you in that Champions League video very soon.